Welcome to Northwoods Kindred. I'm your Goldie Bodvar, and on this channel we discuss all things Asatru Kindred related. So hit that subscribe button if you want to see how we do it in the Northwoods. On today's video, we're going to make a non-alcoholic mead for your recovering alcoholic kinsmen, your children, or anybody that just doesn't like the pungent taste of alcohol. Coming up. First thing we're going to start with is your favorite brand of apple juice. Our favorite brand of apple juice is the cheapest stuff we can get. And we're going to fill this bottle about somewhere in the neighborhood of halfway up with regular old tap water. And now we're going to heat it up so that the honey can dissolve really, really well. Okay, so we've got the water and the apple juice warmed up. It's a little over 100 degrees, 110 or so. And we're going to add this honey, and we're just going to add it to taste. So I'll put a bunch of honey in, and I'll stir it up, and I'll taste it. And I'll keep going until it's where I like it. I caution against, I'm reluctant to give you a measurement and say 1 cup of honey, 2 cups of honey, because everybody likes their meads with a different level of sweetness. So I will just say, add honey to taste. When it's at your level of sweetness, stop. And then stir it up good, which is easy to do because it's hot. By the way, I did turn the water off, or the heat off. Don't want to go too far. I think we're right there, so I want to be careful. I don't want to add too much more honey to it. I want to make sure that everything I have is dissolved really, really well. That's pretty good. We're going to add a little bit of basic lemon juice to give it that little bit of tartness that you would get by adding your acid blends, your malic acid or your tartaric acid. If you're a brewer, then you can add your acid blends, but most people probably don't have that kind of stuff just laying around. Or you could possibly even put in a little grape tannin if you want that little bit of bitterness on your tongue that you would get from the wine tannin. So we're going to go 1 teaspoon at a time. And stir it up. And I know the spoons, I'm not sterilizing it, but I am rinsing it. I'm not going to go through 9 spoons in order to do this batch. We used about that much honey, and when it was full it was somewhere up in here. So if you get the same kind of container, roughly that's where we started. I wish you could taste this. It has a mild mead flavor with 0 alcohol taste to it. It's got a little bit of bite because of the lemon. It tastes fantastic. We're going to let this cool, and then we're going to put it into some sort of a container, and then we're going to give it a really good sample test with it being nice and cold. All right, so I put this pan in the sink of cold water to let it chill out for 10 minutes maybe. It cools it off. If you don't have that, just leave it on the stove and let it cool. Now I want to give you one key point. Make this stuff before you use it. Like, make it like a pitcher of tea or something, put it in the fridge, get it nice and cold. It tastes better that way anyway. But if you try and store this stuff in the bottle, it could pick up some wild yeast from the air, start to ferment, and then blow a cork or make a big mess or become alcoholic. So if the goal is to have non-alcoholic mead, brew it up right before you need it, and you'll be in good shape. So we're going to transfer this into the sink to fill. Absolutely amazing. Would absolutely suffice for children or adults that don't like alcohol, can't drink alcohol, or are in recovery. The absolute perfect solution. So one thing to remember is you can't store this. Don't whip up a giant batch and store this stuff for next year's gatherings. Put this stuff together before your gathering, because in this whole process, while it's open top and no sterilization, there's a good chance it could pick up some wild yeast and eventually probably even kick off a reaction and start fermenting. It can blow up a bottle, it can blow a cork and make a big sticky nasty mess, or it could just become alcoholic, and you don't want to hand a bottle of alcoholic mead to an alcoholic who's in recovery because you thought it was non-alcoholic. So let's don't make those mistakes. We make it as we need it, we consume it, and then it'll go. It's really, really good, and just continue to just drink it as a daily beverage. It's just fine for that. And now you know how to make a quick, simple, cheap mead that you can use to serve to all of your people at your gatherings, or your friends or your family that don't like alcohol or can't consume alcohol. Skol. Now we just did a very plain mead here with just juice, a little bit of lemon to spice it up, and then honey and water. Now don't be afraid, once you get this down or you find a recipe you like with just the right measurements, don't be afraid to start adding things like cinnamon, nutmeg, other spices. Serve it warm if you'd like during the Yule season. You know, include it and develop it and make it your own special beverage. May the magic of mead be shared by all your kin, young and old. Go to Viking, my friends.